Hola, welcome. I am Fat Guy Ninja, and today we are going to be reviewing Jackie Chan's Who Am I? Rooftop fight scene. I used to watch this one all the time with my dad as a kid. It is one of my favorites, but how does it stack up? Is it good? Is it great? Let's find out. Great build up to the beginning of the fight here. Gotta say I love the music.
You got two choices. He lost the disc, jump off.
On number 2, we take the disc and throw you off.
I like the third choice. I keep the disc and I throw you both off.
You gotta love it. Rule 1, baby. Rule 1. I love the way they wrote these two characters to compete against each other to beat people up. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Notice how this fight scene is building up anticipation. That's key for a good fight scene. We want it to begin. We're like antsy for it to begin. Woo! Here we go. Started it off with some back knuckles, some windmill punches there. Nice. Oh, great wrist control with the sleeves. You can do a lot with that. Looks like Jackie's having issues with those elbows. I think he's using Hungar. Could be wrong. I love how in this one section we got elbows, we got back knuckles, we got windmill punches, we've got knees, all kinds of fun stuff just in this little tiny packed bit of fight. It's beautifully done. I love that look of horror on his face as Jackie gets up. Nice exchange of hands here. Very one-sided though. Jackie's not answering back. So much for rule 1. Hey, successful wrist control. Great counter, that big circular movement to get rid of that wrist control. You got one free. Yup, and there goes the other one. Doing a great job of not being a headhunter and actually trying to hit to the body. Great example of adapting to your opponent. Jackie's no longer trading blows with his opponent. He's seeking to wrap and trap. When in tournaments, when you sit there and you watch the other competitors when they're fighting each other, so that you can kind of get a heads up on what's coming your way. That's hilarious right there. Again, wrapping and trapping, great strategy. Great, using the jacket to shadow that spinning heel hook, awesome. Music, wind, and a zoom up. Love it. Up, here come the kicks. There's rule 1 again. Oh, what a flex. Rule 1 in action. Ooh, so pretty. Excellent job changing levels, kicking in different parts of the body to force Jackie's hands to go up, down, on all different places to get him out of the way for that last kick. Nice. Nice attempted sweep. Definitely using Taekwondo. Ooh, that combo looked gorgeous. Nice leg kick. Ooh, another leg kick. Oh, nice tornado up. Or 360 kip, depending on who you are. Oh, that looks painful. I don't know why you wouldn't fake into like a back leg hook or something. I love his face.
Hands up!
Shut up! I love this fight scene. Again, great use of the environment to adapt to someone who's getting the edge on you. Nice transition into that drop spinning rear kick. Ooh, I guess playtime's over. Ooh, a little 2-on-1. I will say that fighting two people, being in the middle is like the worst place to be, and you can see why. Jackie's definitely on his back foot here. If I had to choose, I'd rather have both opponents directly in front of me rather than be in the middle. You can see the motivations have changed. They're no longer attacking Jackie, they're more worried about getting the discs. Nice distraction. Ooh! I don't care who you are, that is a long drop. Leave it to Jackie to make his fight scenes exciting. And this is how you fight multiple attackers. You get them to fight past each other and get in each other's way. Excellent. And then you jump in the middle again and get attacked. Thanks, Jackie. If you don't know, the disc in his pouch contains the only information to create any highly explosive chemical weapon. Watch the movie. You'll enjoy it. And that is why Jackie plays a monkey in Kung Fu Panda. Ooh, Jackie's gotta be hurting after this one. Nice little break in the action to give the audience a little bit of time to catch up. I love that we're still allowed to hear the fight, even though we're technically breaking from it, so it doesn't feel like you're breaking from it. Ooh, another example of why MMA is not real fighting. Like, you're gonna have that in your guard, pressing on your face. It's amazing how many jiu-jitsu guys don't train to, protect their face or train head control of your opponent so you don't get bit. If you only train for sport fighting, you're gonna miss all the little tiny subtleties of actual fighting. Ooh, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that comment. I'm not saying it's not useful, I'm just saying it's not the end of the road. Don't worry, I'll make a video to clarify. Oh, and that is why piercings are not tactical. I know we missed it, but that was an excellent use of finding improvised weapons around you during a fight. I love the humor. I love the humor. Oh, nice. He is done. Ref, stop the fight. Oh, didn't do a fatality soon enough. Ending the fight with a little bit of mercy definitely gives the audience that, warm and fuzzy feeling. All right, the moment we've all been waiting for. How does this fight stack up? Let's put our categories on the board, and here we go. Technical execution. Each of the fight participants are extremely masterful in their movements. All of the different strikes and kicks, they look like individual strikes. They look very crisp and clean. I would give this all 20 points. Risk of losing. Did it feel like Jackie was going to lose at any point in the fight? Absolutely. Several times when he's about to be thrown off the roof, all through the beginning of the fight when they're toying with him, he's very much most of this fight on the back foot, especially when they start tag teaming him, fighting 2-on-1. It was really only towards the end of the fight that Jackie really turned the tables and was able to win the fight. Being that they were able to carry the fear of losing through most of the fight, I will give this all 20 points. Hits versus blocks. This fight scene had a whopping 181 blocks and a massive 101 hits. This gives us a hit ratio of 1.79 blocks for every 1 hit. Because it's above 1.5, it loses no points and it gets the full 20 points. Repetition. This fight scene could easily be broken up into 5 sections. Mostly punches, mostly kicks, 2 versus 1, running away, and the final showdown. Each section displayed a unique type of fighting. Though this was a longer fight scene, because it was broken up in this way, it didn't seem repetitive. It didn't seem like they were doing the same things over and over again. Also, we did see a lot of adaptation. Jackie found ways around his inability to subdue his opponents. Because they were able to avoid repetitiveness, especially over the length of a longer fight like this, I am awarding it all 15 points. Clarity. The camera movement was smooth and stable. There wasn't any shaky cam that was jarring. It was very easy to see what was going on in the fight. Because of this, it will be getting all 5 of the first half of the points. This fight scene had 282 hits inside of 88 cuts. This leaves us with 3.2 hits on average for every 1 cut. Because that is well above 3 and there were plenty of flurries above 10 strikes, it will be getting the rest of the points for this category, leaving it with a grand total of 10 points. Ending. Every fight starts for a reason. The ending should bring that to a resolution. This particular fight started because Jackie was trying to escape, get away, with the disc containing the instructions to make the explosive material. His opponents were sent to stop him and retrieve the disc. At the end of the fight, both of his opponents were incapacitated, and Jackie was able to escape with the disc, thus eliminating any reason for the fight to continue now or in the future. Because there is a clear ending and no need for a continuation of the fight later on, this fight scene will get the full 10 points. Environment. This fight scene takes place on a rooftop, which, as environments goes, is kind of average. However, this one shows us the city in the background, which gives it a little bit of a nice backdrop. It's not just a nebulous blue sky, but also it takes us to the very edge of the roof and allows us to see over the edge, which adds to the intrigue. For that reason, I'll bump this up to a 6. However, due to the construction of the roof has multiple levels, which adds to the fight as we see. Also, there's a construction area on the roof, which adds not only an interesting change of environment, but also potential weapons. For that reason, I bump it up to a 7. Use of environment. So it goes without saying that we utilize the environment a lot. It was very interesting. A lot of times in movies or fight scenes in particular, it feels like we're climbing from the bottom and moving up through the environment. This was an interesting change of pace to have it feel like Jackie was actually moving down and in through his environment. So for that reason, I'm going to start it off with a 5. We did see a little bit of use of obstacles that were on the roof during the fight, and we also saw them trying to utilize the edge of the roof to try to kick Jackie off of it. We also see a little bit of improvised weaponry with the brick and the sandbag. So for that reason, I will bump this up to a final score of 6. Believability. This fight takes place in a world much like our own. Jackie is a CIA operative who has lost his memory due to extreme head trauma. His opponents work for another CIA operative on the take, so it stands to reason that they themselves are also operatives. As such, all 3 fight participants should have fight experience. Now, Jackie's opponents are objectively better than Jackie's character. It is the fact that they are better that builds anticipation for Jackie's eventual victory. It is perfectly believable to have Jackie's opponents toy with him in the beginning like a lion playing with his food. Also, Jackie does not win this fight by becoming stronger somehow or magically learning how to fight better. He wins the fight by figuring out ways to work around his opponent's skill. Therefore, a victory over 2 superior opponents is absolutely believable. For that reason, and all the other reasons, this fight gets all 10 points. Pacing. In the beginning of this fight scene, we start off with the build-up before the fight. We are introduced to the fight participants, we're given the stakes, and then we have a build-up of tension until the fight begins. When we get into the fight, we are given fast-paced action for nearly 9 minutes. To most audiences, this can get exhausting to watch. This is, however, mitigated by moments of pause sprinkled throughout the fight scene. We get longer pauses where there are exchanges of dialogues, as well as smaller pauses where there are simply a few one-liners thrown out and then the fight continues. These larger pauses break up the fight scene into the sections that I mentioned earlier. But even within these sections, we get little pauses where we may see the expression of pain due to a large attack, or where a fight participant may be knocked back out of range of his opponent, where the fight cannot continue until they close the distance. This allows the anticipation for Jackie's victory to build up slowly over the course of the entire fight, rather than building up quickly at the beginning and having to be maintained throughout the entire fight. Because of this nice smooth buildup of anticipation and the breakup in the pacing, I'm giving this all 10 points. This gives us a grand total of 128 points. But wait, there's more. Let's get into the extra credit. Emotion. There wasn't much by way of emotion in this fight. The fight participants didn't know each other prior. They didn't have a relationship with each other that was being tested by the fight itself. And a loved one was not at stake. So I'm going to give this one a 0 for emotion. Gore. Just like emotion, there wasn't much gore. There wasn't bruising, cut lips, bloody noses, things like that. We certainly didn't see any blood splatter or anything like that. Even with the earring pull, there was no blood spray or even a wound presentation at all. So it gets a 0 as well. Advanced uses of martial arts. Right off the bat, lifting a jacket over your head with your foot is amazing. If you don't know, stick your foot out as high as you can go. However high you're going, that is the highest you can kick at max power. If you can put your foot over your head, you have the muscle strength to kick anywhere on the body at max power. It is incredible. Also amazing, at the end of the fight, you have Jackie and his opponents pulling off an awesome stunt. So Jackie gets swept, and he uses the spin off of getting swept to pull off an iron broom, then going into a kip. And then in the next frame, or the next cut, I should say, he goes into a kip, into a jumping roundhouse, and then rolls out of the way before his opponent does a double leg stomp from the ground. That is amazing. For that, I'm awarding 2 extra points. Creativity. Utilizing the bracelet to gouge into the face, specifically up his nose, and utilizing the jacket and tie are both hilariously creative ways to attack your opponents. For that, I add 2 extra points. For destruction factor, there wasn't really any destruction of the environment, so we're just going to quietly place a 0 there and tally everything up for a grand total of 132 points. We then take that number, divide it by the original categories, drum roll please, and we get a score of 13.2. A very, very good score. Let's see where it lands on the scale. And there we have it, a well-deserved ranking. This was an amazing fight scene. But what do you think? Does it deserve this score? Let us know in the comments below. If you haven't seen this movie, you are missing out. You can catch the Blu-ray on Amazon, links in the description. Let us know what we should watch next, but for now, I'm out. Peace.